Hey guys, it's Tiffany. I wanted to pop on and talk to you about a lot of things. Normally I do a live and it's kind of off the cuff. I do plan those, I just don't necessarily take notes. And today I'm not going to do that. My live feed, I don't know if yours is, but mine has really been having issues and buffering and not doing what I want it to. So I don't want you to miss part of this message. So this is all recorded prior, and I do apologize for the length, and I apologize for not being able to communicate with you on here, but I did take some notes this time that I wanted to share with you. And to start, I just kind of wanted to show you my home office. I am still very excited that this has been the time I heard God say, it's the time, do it now. But I've opened my own brokerage, and I do have a home office that when this is all over, people can come see me at. And I'm going to turn the camera around and so you can see it, but behind me is my backyard and some books that I'm reading. I highly recommend doing some reading right now. If you're not reading, then you should be. Let me see if I can turn this around. Well, all right. Well, apparently you can't turn your phone around, so I'll just turn it around for you. I have some, aren't those cute little curtains? So, as you know, I live in a historic home. I've painted, I've done everything. I actually laid the floor. Can y'all see that? Oh no, you can't. You see the rug, but here's the floor. Maybe you can see that. I laid it myself, but yeah, I did find some period pieces to match my home. I'm so excited about that. And my rug was actually here when I purchased my home. And I'm just kind of pan around, show you. There's my degrees. I'm going to get them on the wall. And yeah. Anyways, so there's that. Now you've seen that. Back to my rug. So it was here when I purchased the house, and I had it professionally cleaned. And if you have not ever used, if you're local to Wills Point, or not just Wills Point, they work in Kaufman County, Rockwall County, they probably go to Dallas County, I'm not real sure, you can ask them, but Guardian Floor Care are fabulous. They sent me a cute little thank you note. I mean, personal touch. Number one, they're amazing people. Super sweet. They take care of your things. They take care of your homes. They take care of your carpets. They actually took my historic rug with them, cleaned it, and brought it back. They're just, I can't say enough wonderful things about them. So kudos to Brian and Tashia Parker of Guardian Floor Care. If you don't know them, you need to look them up, especially if you're thinking about listing your house and you need any kind of floor care. Anyways, that's just kind of a side kudos. They're awesome. So I wanted to address several things. I've had a lot of people say, Tiffany, is now the time to buy, or is now the time to sell, or what is going on in the market? Is the market going to flip? Is the market going to become, it's been a seller sided market for a long time. Is it going to be a buyer side market? Are we going to see foreclosures? And here's what I'm going to say. If you hear anyone tell you they know exactly what the market is going to do, stop listening to them. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows. We can all take our own guesses. We can look back in history and kind of say what we think is going to happen, and that's what I'm going to do today. But I can't tell you what's for sure going to happen, because that's anyone's guess, truly. What we are seeing, I actually just got the report, and I will share that. I will be posting that. I'm going to go to that right now, real quick. For MetroTex, which includes multiple counties, I'm just going to give you a list. From Dallas County, Denton, Collin, Ellis, Grayson, Hopkins, Hunt, Johnson, Kaufman, Navarro, Parker, Rockwall, Stevens, Tarrant, Wise, and Van Zandt. So those are all the counties that are involved in the MetroTex for March. For all of those counties. Now, it also breaks down per county, and I'm going to share what affects me and my clients the most. So I'll be sharing Dallas, Kaufman, and Van Zandt, along with Hunt and Rockwall. So what we have seen overall, the median price has increased 5.9%. Closed sales have increased 1.4%. Days on market is running about 64 days. Days to close are about 33. Our active listings are down 8.9%, and that's right, because fewer people are putting their house on the market, and some people have gone, I don't know what this market's going to do, so I'm going to take my house off the market right now, see if it stabilizes, see what happens, and then maybe come back. So we are seeing supply and demand change, which goes into the next category, months of inventory. And months of inventory right now are 3 months. And just to kind of basically, months to inventory is a calculation that quantifies supply and demand. And basically, usually we have a higher months of inventory, and that's it revolves as 12 months go by. I can explain it in more detail, but it's kind of boring. It's a calculation. What it's showing is supply and demand is changing. So typically, if there's more supply and less demand, then prices go down. If there's low supply, high demand, then prices go up. So what we're seeing is still that low supply, high demand, and actually even lower because it's down 8.9% as compared to last year. So that would typically tell you that prices are still higher, and the median price is actually up 5.9% for all of MetroTex. Again, I'm going to share those individually so you can see those. Ask me any questions later. But that is actually very positive because the market is still really strong. I'm actually getting 2 new listings. They will be live next week. One of them is in Terrell. One of them is in Wills Point. They're actually both in Kaufman County, just where they fell on the county line. So be looking for that. And so now to answer the question, is now the time to buy? Well, what we are seeing is that right now, of course it could change tomorrow, it could change in a week, it could change in a month, you don't know. But right now, prices are still staying strong. We are seeing that things are more negotiable. So instead of them being, you're not going to get a fire sale on a house right now, half price. It's just not going to happen. People will take their house off the market and not sell right now if that's the case. But it's not. That's not the case. What we are seeing is people are being more negotiable on the other side of things. For example, sellers are much more willing to pay for the title insurance policy. Sellers are also much more willing to help with closing costs, which is seller allowances. So those types of things are changing. Let's see. Like I said earlier, the supply and demand is still, there's still fewer homes on the market. That's increasing, potential prices. Now, to address the issue on foreclosures, I really don't know what's going to happen there. I know that we've all heard about forbearance. I will tell you, ask questions, ask me specifically. I'm happy to read over any material for you and to kind of give you my advice in a situation if you're facing a potential foreclosure, because every mortgage company is going to be different. It's not one blanket forbearance. And a lot of people think, oh, well, forbearance will just move my payment to the end of my loan. So instead of a 30-year mortgage, you have a 30-year in 1 month or 30-year in 2 months or, situation. But that's not always the case. Sometimes these forbearance look like, okay, you don't have to make a loan payment right now this month, so we're in April. Maybe you don't have to make one for May. Maybe you don't have to make one for June, but come July, 4 payments are due. And I don't know about you, but it's easier for me to come up with April, May, June rather than 4 months in July, because that's going to hurt really bad. So don't think that because of the word forbearance, because that's going to come around, that's going to mean that you don't have to make that payment, or that it's going to move to the end of the note, because that is not necessarily the case. So I just want you to be really smart about that. So there's that. Ask me any questions, okay? Some people have said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going over my notes, okay? So what does this look like? When are we going to come out of it? What's it going to do to the market long term? Again, we don't really know. I've done my homework, and I will tell you that, what I want you to know is cycles are normal. It's normal, okay? There's always an up, there's always a down, business cycles all the time. So I have been in the market long enough. I actually got licensed as a realtor in 2009. Which is right at the peak of the last huge real estate crisis, which was not a health crisis. It was a lending crisis, okay? So there were bad loans that were being made, and it finally came to fruition, and we had to pay the price for that, basically. And so what we saw then was prices just nosedived, and lots of people, if they were in the right position, were able to buy property, for real cheap. That's not what we're in right now. I do want to say that, because this is a health crisis, not a lending crisis, which was directly related to the real estate market. Now, there are trickle-down effects. If people lose their jobs, if people don't get, unemployment, if people end up in foreclosure, that obviously is going to affect the real estate market. But that doesn't necessarily, it's not a direct correlation, for sure. What I did see is we have endured the .com crisis, which was from 1995 to 2000, where that, our market actually, households lost $6.5 trillion in March of 2000. Then we had the housing, the lending crisis of 2008, 2009, which, most of us are very familiar with. And now here we are in 2020, and we have this health crisis. So what we know is about every 10 years we have a crisis, and we will come through this. So just keep that in mind, okay? That position yourself so that you can be stronger when this is all over. So just keep that in mind. We've made it through all of these other crises. Let's see. What else do I have to say? Oh, I thought I heard this quote. I don't remember. I can't give credit because I don't remember who said it. I apologize. But every day we are in a boom, or every day you are in a boom, you are closer to a crash. And every day you are in a crash, you are closer to a boom. In other words, those cycles are always up and down, up and down, up and down. It's normal. So just realize that this isn't like the end of the world. We're going to keep going. Let's see. And also another thing I heard, and this was from, I listened to a podcast called Bigger Pockets, and Beardy Brandon, gave credit to his financial coach, whatever, life coach. And his life coach said, and I loved this, I wrote it down because I thought, this is exactly what I want, and I think a lot of you probably do too. But it said, do you want to look back and remember this time as something that changed you for the positive, or something that you squandered your time and you lived in fear? So that is definitely something to reflect on. I think that for me personally, I am definitely looking for this to be a change in my positive, with the opening of my brokerage and, the growth opportunities there. Obviously, I want to continue working in real estate. I've already been here 10 years, and I'm excited about that. I'm also super excited about opportunities that I can offer to other people through employment and making a difference in their lives. I can tell you that real estate has made such a profound difference in my life, and I know it can make a difference in other people's lives. But you have to be dedicated to it. So I'm excited to help and mentor and you know, be a guide to change others' lives, because it has definitely changed mine. And I'm happy to share my story in more detail later, but I will. Let's see. Let's just kind of a note that I wanted to make sure everybody knew is that your tax filing and payments, they've been extended from April 15th to July 15th. So if you're having to pay taxes or get your taxes filed, then you can definitely extend that. I just did mine this week, so I didn't have to, but I got them done because my CPA is awesome, but got them done finally. And let's see. I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about was also kind of the snowball effect and what could happen for like the foreclosure situation. Not direct, I mean, anyways. So I know a lot of you have said, you know, well, what about if people don't pay their mortgage? Well, you know, obviously if they don't pay their mortgage, then they could be potentially, and the forbearance is, depending on what that says, then they could potentially be facing foreclosure. And I really don't want that for you. I will share a lot of information. I know a lot about foreclosure. I have helped people avoid foreclosure, and so I'm definitely here to help you through that process. So another thing is the snowball effect. So if you're renting, perhaps, and you think, well, you know, I don't have, maybe you're laid off, or maybe you don't have, maybe you're not laid off and you just think, I don't want to pay rent or something like that. Just keep in mind that most landlords also have mortgages. So if you don't pay rent, then the potential of them not having enough for a mortgage increases. And it doesn't just stop there. So, you know, even for the banks that are offering forbearance, there's still an investor in that bank that doesn't necessarily want the forbearance. That's their income. So they're like, okay, we can't extend all these mortgage payments because that's how we make money. And then even on the further side of that, so mortgage companies offer mortgage securities, which is, you know, that investor that I guess that's what it just said. But anyway, so they're investing in the bank to say, okay, how are you going to pay us back? So then the banks can't pay their investors, and that's just, like I said, it's a snowball effect. So whatever you do, just be smart about it. I am excited to help y'all in any way that I can, and just if you have questions, reach out to me. Again, I'm going to share the different counties' information, and I hope y'all are all taking care of yourselves and staying well and staying healthy and covering your face when you're out in public if you feel like it. And yeah, I guess that's it. Just take care, stay healthy, and stay well. And I love you all. So have a wonderful evening. Ask me any questions. Talk to y'all. Love you. Bye.